because Fennell had to run and use the restroom, but let's see what he opens here. This is his first pack. You can see him going through here, and he's got Living Lore at the back, a rare he's not going to want to take first nice here. One. Twin Bolt's good. He's got a Sandstorm Charger, which I know he likes, and I think that those are. This pack is not very good, Jake.
I mean, Twin Bolt's a very high quality card.
It's the only one, though. Often.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's kind of what you want in the pack you open, right? Yeah. You know, you pass everybody else these dregs, you find yourself a nice little treat. You know?
All right, so he's going to take that Twin Bolt and pass. Now, red is considered one of the better colors in the format.
Absolutely.
I think that the red-black deck is one that Fennell will certainly keep his eye on here if he can get it. That's a deck that's
my favorite.
That's your favorite deck in the format?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I know a lot of people that really like that two-color combo. It's very powerful, very consistent, has all the answers you need. But Fennell, let's see if he finds another red card. There's a Silumgar Butcher. That's a playable. There's a Warbringer. Ooh, Rakshasa Gravecaller gets passed. Did you see that?
Titan.
Did you see him kind of just flick it lightly like, hello, my friend? So the rare is missing out of this pack. He does have to pass a second Twin Bolt, which is a little awkward for him, but so worth it to take the Gravecaller here.
Powerful pack. There was already a card taken out of there.
Right. Yeah, there was a rare missing from that pack. So somebody opened a Sweet Dragon or something like that and shipped over Rakshasa Gravecaller to Fennell. And Rakshasa Gravecaller, by most people's estimation, is the best uncommon in the format.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable card. You jokingly called it Grave Titan. I call it that too. It actually feels like that when you cast it. Now when you attack with it, not so much. But still.
There was a Warbringer in that pack too.
There's also a Youthful Scholar in this pack, and that is one.
That's my favorite.
Me too. That's the one that Jake and I we'll skip down the boardwalk here in AC talking about Youthful Scholar all day, and he's going to take it here. You know, having passed the red card, you got to feel like in his head, now he's going to let the packs dictate where his draft goes, but I think in his head he's definitely going to be thinking, oh, maybe I'm going to go a little blue-black here. Maybe, I mean, that's a 1-2 punch that is this stuff dreams are made of, right? Turn 4 Youthful Scholar, turn 5 Rakshasa Gravecaller.
Especially when the pack you picked up second, the pack he opened was kind of garbage anyway.
Yes.
He got a Twin Bolt, which was nice, but then he passed a pack that still had a bunch of really powerful red and black cards.
All right, he found a Palace Familiar here. I think that's a pretty easy pick.
Absolutely.
You agree with that, Jake?
Yeah.
Another nice little piece of food for his Gravecaller as well. Yeah, I think if you go Youthful Scholar into Gravecaller, you just grab the match slip. You just want to save the time. I mean, being a courteous player, you would also extend the hand for a handshake.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this deck is already shaping up to be pretty good.
Call their mother.
Yeah. All right, he's going to pick up an Ojutai Interceptor here. There's also a Butcher's Glee, which is a card that I originally looked at and thought, mediocre, and it went up a little for me. I still think it's not great, but I like it. I play that card. I want one in my deck, which isn't something I thought I would say when I first read it. That said, Ojutai Interceptor, super solid, and a nice pickup here for Chris.
Yeah, Butcher's Glee, it wins a lot of racing situations.
Yes, that happens all the time.
And I think that's what happens most with it. I find myself bashing my opponent with an interceptor. Something in the air, they're bashing me on the ground. And
right, 14-point life swing, and you're going to win that one. Here's a Contradict.
I like playing one Contradict in this format.
I don't mind it either. It's not a high pick, but this is kind of the kind of pack where you want to pick up your Contradict. You just get one in the middle, the late part. I think the best card here is the Sandstorm Charger at the back, but he's so far away from white that he's not going to be able to play. Now, he took Taigam Strike there. Card that you will find people either loving or hating, I think, for the most part. And there's a Shambling Goblin now for Chris.
It's a card that, will make your main deck sometimes, Shambling Goblin.
Yeah.
But it's an incredible sideboard card.
Yeah.
A lot of the time you're playing against people who have, Rats and Hand of Silumgars and just all these X1s, and you sideboard that in, and it's like a brick wall.
Totally. And you even can just bring it in against any of the low curve decks with, tutus and stuff like that, just as a nice little early trade. I didn't see what he took there.
Silumgar Scorn.
He took Silumgar Scorn over What's Up Draft Elemental. Interesting. All right, let's see what Chris wants to take here. Yeah. Welcome. And it looks like Chris is just going to take Pinion Feast here. He just has, he's just basically hate drafting. He had a couple of, sometimes make the sideboard type cards there, but he didn't take it. Oh, he gets a Monastery Lore Master late. It's a good pickup. This is a good time to pick up a Monastery Lore Master.
That pack's still got some juice in it. There's still an Aven Tactician there.
Yeah.
Even a Taigam Strike. I know he wouldn't want to play a second one ever.
No, but the first one's probably iffy. But he likes that. he likes that card.
Oh, see, I'm not a huge fan.
I like that card.
It's fine.
Yeah, I think it's a little
makes my
better
deck
than people
sometimes.
think. Yeah, I don't think it's like something you have to go out of your way to get. Ooh, Encase in Ice. That's a nice pickup. Wow.
Yeah, that's a late Scaleguard Sentinels too. That card,
Very late.
You know,
Nobody's
when
in
you play
green.
that card on turn 2 and it's a 3/4, how do you lose?
And he picks up a Marshall second to last. I find that insulting. But that's interesting, you know, picking up the Encase in Ice that late is really good. You'll see people often dedicate earlier picks to those hardcore sideboard cards, and he picks one up really late here. All right, there's that poor Twin Bolt that he first picked, but he immediately moved out of red and was rewarded strongly for it in the sense that he not only got good blue and black cards, especially blue, but also red immediately dried up.
Yeah.
Like I don't know who's on Chris's direct right, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if that person's in red.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth noting that like the pack that he took his second pick out of, that he got the Gravecrawler out of, that pack had tons of good red cards in it.
Oh, did it?
It had a Warbringer, it had a Twin Bolt.
Good point.
It had, it had all these great red cards. So
But there
not
was a
only
red-
did the red dry up, but he also passed a lot of good red to his left.
Yeah.
So
Lovely.
Really nice that he got out of that color.
Okay, he's going to go into his second pack here, so as he goes into that, let's take a look at what he's got. Another thing to note is the Scaleguard Sentinels coming so late. People don't like green in this format.
Pick up your pack.
Yeah.
They just don't.
We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, it's
quite
just
a
not
bit.
that deep. All right, so let's see what he's got here. There's a Mind Rod of another Palace Familiar. An Ultimate Price, he gets there.
There's also a horde
a Pitiful
there.
Horde, yeah, Pitiless
I mean-
Horde, I mean.
I'd take Ultimate Price because
Yeah, his deck wants
You know.
Ultimate Price. There are a few decks that you could consider taking Pitiless Horde overpriced, but even then, it's price, man.
Yeah,
Like, have
it's-
you read that card? Like, the thing is,
completely
I
agree.
think a lot of people looked at Ultimate Price and maybe discounted a little bit at first because we were used to playing Cons Draft where it doesn't kill that many things. But here in this world, like, yeah, sure, it doesn't kill, a Dragon Lord or whatever, but everything else it does.
yeah, for 2 mana and instant
Yeah,
speed.
and instant speed.
It's basically card advantage too, and your opponent usually dumps 6 mana and 2 cards into what they're losing to the Ultimate
It
Price.
happens
It's
like
just
that
absurd.
very often. Ultimate Price is truly premium removal. It's probably the best removal removal in the whole set. So, a great
get
pickup
behind
there
that.
for Chris.
Ooh, that's a nice
I
one.
love that guy.
That's one of the better uncommons in the set too.
It is. It really is. Akud Cobra
Definitely top 3.
is way up there on my list as well. It works really well. He interestingly has a chance to wheel a few different cards here. There's an Ojutai Interceptor in this
Butcher's Glee.
pack. There's also a Butcher's Glee and an Anticipate, which he might want.
I think you always want that card in a draft deck.
It
Smooths it
depends.
out.
The way this is going, I could see him not wanting it.
Really? I mean, he has like,
Like his-
Ultimate Price and Gravecrawler.
His
and,
deck's
like,
so good. That's what I'm saying. Like when every card you draw is good, you have to
but he has a
replace
lot
it
of, like,
with something.
combos too. You
It's
know
just
what
the
I mean?
question is like, what are you cutting, right? That's what it comes down to.
From this point forward,
All right, let's see what he's got here. He's picked up a defeat here. There's also a Bell-Toll Dragon if he wants to bolster his top end a little bit here. Bell-Toll Dragon, fairly mediocre, right? Like it's not a high pick, but you do want something to do in the late game with your mana and with
He
all
needs
these
to kill
cards.
opponents.
He's got to get him dead at some point. He doesn't have any Vulturous Avens, which is a nice sort of incidental, I can just start hitting you for 2 in the air type card. Now, his Ojutai Interceptor can definitely close the game out, but what you'll find is that when you play this format a lot, it's quite fragile. The Twin Bolts kill it, and it ends up dying pretty easily.
I still love that card.
Me too. I think you
the
play it-
common morphs are quite good in this set.
Yeah, I think that's the good one. That's the one I really want.
Yeah.
Well, besides Marshall, obviously. Is that really a Deathbringer Regent that he just got past? Holy smokes! Wow, Chris Fennell picks
Holding
up
that one up for an extra
Deathbin-
second.
He almost paused on it because he had a couple of other options. There was a Zephyr Scribe and a Pal. He's like, whoa, wait a minute.
What is this
Can
doing
I get a
here?
20-second timeout? So that's a 7-drop that completely dominates the game when it comes in.
It just kills everything,
It either
and
kills
it gives
everything
you
or it's a
giant
5/6
monster.
flying. And
Yeah.
either way, you're pretty darn happy. And of course, if it kills everything, it's also a 5/6 flying too. So. Yeah, that's a good one.
Do you like Scribe here or another Hulk?
I like Scribe here.
I do also.
Yeah, going back to what you were saying about, trying to get to your good stuff and that kind of thing. Now, Scribe has gone down. When I first saw it, I thought Looter.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I thought it was like the best blue common in the set.
I thought it would be great too. I rated it a lot higher than I have it rated now.
Yeah, but now I think like Interceptor's better.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah, I think Palace Familiar is better now.
I do
also.
too.
Yeah.
I totally do. So the thing is,
learn
it's
as
the
you go.
blue. You know, you got to pay a blue mana to activate that thing, and that's a really big tax on a card like that. Are you kidding me?
Just
Are
an
you out of
opportunity?
your mind, Chris Fennell? He just goes bomb into bomb. So he's got his late game here. That was Dragonlord's prerogative, and apparently within 4 seats of either direction, that's all draft. He's blue-black. Nobody else is blue-black.
Yeah, I
like it
think
just
he's the only
feels like
blue-black
nobody's blue-black. I want to see what he gets back out of that first pack now.
Yeah, he's definitely going to get at least a Butcher's Glee, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. And I don't even know if this deck wants it. Like, this is just
Yeah, he
absurd.
might just not be able to fit it. Oh, it's just a dutiful tenant, no big deal.
Yeah, well, that is kind of not a big deal, but
Well, it does pretty well in his deck, though.
it does. You're totally right. I just mean, like, we just went region into prerogative. You know, it's like, okay, I can take a step down and just pick up a dutiful attendant.
It's actually not the kind of card he really wants, though. He already has so much card advantage. You know, like, you
Wait,
kind of
is
want,
there a
like,
limit
to
to how
affect-
much card advantage
Well,
I
but
want?
you want to affect the board. Like, you want to be mana efficient
want
to
to?
survive. He's already, like, drawing 4
3 mana,
cards
1,
and
2.
playing, winding his opponent.
What do you
And
want from the guy? All right, there's a Vial of Dragonfire, another Shambling Goblin. There is a Butcher's Glee as well in this one, and a Carsey Deceiver. You know, I think he's going to take. Yeah, he's taking the Vial, and this makes some sense, right? The way, how does he lose this game? He loses in the early stages. He loses to small creatures, right? If he gets to the late stages of the game, he is going to dominate. He's got Rakshasa Gravecaller, he's got Deathbringer Regent. He is going to absolutely crush. I like the reduce in stature here.
as do I.
It looks like he's considering other options.
I'm kind of a Mind Rot fan, too. But
In
not
general
his
or in
deck.
here?
No, in general. I played on my sideboard, and I really like it on the draw. I think it's a powerful card on the draw.
Okay. Yeah, he took the reduce there. I like that.
I mean, I would
pick a
take
lot.
the reduce also.
Yeah, you said that. You said that. Yeah. All right. Well,
Jeez.
can't have too many of those.
Never. It's a handsome creature right there.
John Finkel said Marshall was the best card in his deck yesterday.
Of course, to you.
He didn't say that to me. He said that on text coverage.
Ooh.
I misquoted him slightly. He didn't say it was the best card in his deck. Was that a Dragon Lord? I mean, a Scale Lord?
Yeah, he took the Scale Lord over copy of.
What, Glint? What was it?
No, it was Contradict. Actually.
Oh, a Contradict. Yeah.
And I guess I don't mind the first Contradict,
Yeah.
but I mean, in his deck he doesn't need that at all.
I feel like he just doesn't want to have any, like, so
He wants
the
to
w-
affect the board and
that's
then
right.
be drawing cards.
Because
and refilling.
so
I
as he
appreciate
finishes
that.
up this pack, you know, the way these things tend to play out is that the better your deck is, the less you want those. So we call those kind of strikeout home run cards. He wants solid doubles across the line here now, right? Because every card is good in his deck in the late game. He's got all these great bombs. He's got this card advantage. And he wants to be able to just make sure that he gets there. If he has too many cards like Contradict or even Butcher's Glee in his hand, he can get stuck with those where he can't deploy them in a timely manner and he can get ran over. So he's really going to be looking to like, you know, these Vial of Dragonfires, these are mediocre, right? Like, these aren't good Magic cards.
Yeah,
but
you don't
they're
want
not
those to make
terrible.
your main necessarily.
No, you don't necessarily, but I think he's going to lean closer to those because he's like, okay, well, they're clunky, but they do get the job done against the things that are going to actually kill me.
That's fair.
And the late game for him is absurd.
Yeah, I mean, you think about like the best possible uncommons he could have right now for his deck, and he has all of them. You know, he has.
Yes.
He has Ultimate Price. He has Gravecrawler. He has Youthful Scholar. He has
Ukud Cobra.
Cobra's one of the best uncommons in the set. That's
Wow.
it's a quiet card.
You're
that's
right. He
actually
just has
really
the
strong.
literal all-star lineup of blue and black uncommons.
Yeah.
I would trade seats with Chris Fennell in a heartbeat. I love bringing you guys the coverage, but this deck is too awesome for me.
Seems like a lot of fun.
He has just got
Nothing
a
but agreement
pile
there.
of value sitting there right now. All right, so now we're going to move over, though, to Fate Reforged here. And this is going to change things up a little bit, but these packs are still pretty deep for the colors that Chris finds himself in here. And I think he's going to be looking to fill the cracks in here, right? Like, he's got the big hitters already lined up. He's going to want to pick up any more removal that he can get. He's going to want to get. He's going to want to be able to manage the board so that he can set up board states that could take advantage of his Deathbringer Regent and cards like that.
How good does a card have to be here to take it over Sultai Emissary?
Yeah, Sultai Emissary is the card that I had in my head. It has to be, you know, it has to be a letter grade ahead in my mind. Are you kidding me right now?
Oh my goodness gracious.
So if you want to learn how to draft like Chris Fennell, just read his articles.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable.
If you want to learn how to play with this draft deck, just go sleeve up the blue-black control deck from Standard.
No kidding. He's even got Silumgar's card.
Yeah,
All right, we need a splashed
prerogative.
Ojutai. That's what we need to get this thing to Esper Dragon's level. So he opens Crux of Fate. I'm trying to think if there was a better open.
I don't think there is.
They're probably not, right?
Yeah.
Like, is Silumgar the Drifting Death better than Crux?
No, I would much rather have Crux.
You'd much rather have Crux. So you see that Chris kind of has his hand over his face. That's because he's laughing like the Joker under that.
Yeah.
He's just like... All right, there we go. A reach a shadow. Are you out of your mind, Chris Fennell? What
I'm
is
sorry if I just
even
gave feedback
happening here? I can't even understand what's happening here. He just got past a second copy of Crux of Fate.
I don't think this has ever happened to me. Like this level of absurdity and like a GP
I have
draft.
never seen.
Like on the PT or a GP, I've never opened. Like
This is unbelievable.
This is insane.
Rashad just fell off of his chair.
He's actually crying
This
over
is
there.
unbelievable. Chris Fennell, his first two picks of Fate Reforce are both Crux of Fate and his
Both the
blue-black
best
control.
possible card. It's a rare.
Are we done here? Like, do we need to watch the rest of this? This is unreal.
Oh, there's Typhoid Rats.
Yeah, for
No,
Fennell,
Typhoid Rats is like kind of perfect
no,
for his
for
deck,
Fennell,
right?
that's whiffing. That's like, oh man, only a completely playable that will always make the cut. Yeah, no,
I mean, it's
but
kind of the perfect card for his deck though, because he needs to survive
it
this
is
early turn.
exactly what he
Especially
wants
when
to
he
see.
doesn't get to 5.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's just exactly what he wants to
And
see.
he gets to play 18 lands and not even have to worry about getting flooded because he has like draw 4s.
Draw 4s and double Crux.
Yeah, draw 4s, double Wrath deck. Seems reasonable.
He also took he has the Beltol Dragon and the Regent, so he can just like, not dragons. Yeah,
So do you think Silumgar, the Drifting Death, would be better than the second Crux? Like his
All right.
combos with the other Sultai Emissary, of course.
Yeah, but this is kind of interesting. There's a Sultai Emissary, and there was also a Jeskai Sage back there too.
I think I'd rather have the 2/2 than the
So
card
what's
here.
your reasoning there? What makes you just affecting the board more
Yeah, I mean,
immediate?
it affects the board more. At this point, like, he doesn't...
Sam
doesn't
Black
really
just
have to worry
tweeted
about-
at Fennell, nice life, which is very accurate in this
Yeah,
position.
I mean,
Yeah,
just getting
it's because
Q2s.
it gives you an immediate 2/2, keeps you alive.
I think that in most decks, Sultai Emissary, and almost all decks, Sultai Emissary is a better card than Jeskai Sage.
Certainly,
Both very
Chris,
strong in his deck.
certainly in Chris's deck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, he's human, guys. He finally whiffed. He's gonna have to pick up
How unlucky
something
that
junky.
he was, you know.
He can pick up a Sultai Skullkeeper or whatever. He's just gonna
Gonna hate draft the Hunt the Week,
it
that if
looks
anybody
like.
ever casts against him, they immediately lose. Like, imagine somebody spent 4 men on that card against his deck.
It probably wouldn't be the best scenario, but even then, you can never be too safe. So Fennell's going to take the Hunt the Week, and I mean, he's already got a deck here, right? Like, that's the thing, is that he could just stop.
yeah.
Like, he could just, kind of be done. There's another Sultai Emissary for him.
Remember how good does a card have to be to take it over Sultai Emissary here?
Yeah, we found a few of those, and now he's just getting them a little later. This is just coming together in the most beautiful. I'm just gonna go home and watch this. Just gonna watch this draft.
Sidisi's Faithful got quite a bit better in his deck now. Double
Yes,
Emissary,
it did.
Palace Familiar. Yeah,
Even
that's
a
one-
Wraths, if it comes to that. His
You can also just play it as a wall and force his opponent to overcommit into a Wrath, which he has 2 of, like.
very reliable plan for him. All right, and he's gonna take the Crucible of the Spirit Dragon. I think he can actually play that if he wants.
I mean, it's just, at this point, you might as well rare draft, right? I think he just takes the Battle Rage. You just don't want to.
Oh, I didn't see the Battle
You
Rage.
can die randomly
Oh,
with that
absolutely.
card. That card,
Get
card
that thing
gives you
out of
some.
here. Are you
power.
kidding me? That's a sigh of relief.
Yeah, thank
That's the
goodness
card that
nobody
can
else found
steal
this thing.
games, and that's what people
Yeah.
need to do against Fennell, because if they try to go toe to toe, that's not going to work. He has got all of his bases covered here.
here he's just gonna, think about what card would be best against his deck.
That's right. Traditionally, I would think a War Flare would be the best card against his deck, but that card just isn't very popular these days.
Yeah, it doesn't make the cut most of the time, even when I'm red-white.
I think he's going to decide on Rune Mark. He's got that pulled to the front, which makes sense. If something just makes a quick flyer early in the game and quick, and he doesn't have to happen to have his removal spells, his Sultai emissaries are going to be looking up at the sky while he takes 4 or 5 damage in the air. So I like that pick. Again, Chris is trying to think of the cards that can beat him now. All right. This is interesting. He's got a little trade binder action here if he wants it with the Bloodstain Mire, or he can just.
Well, Will the Nagas pretty good in his deck also, because again, it's a card that's going to force opponents to overcommit.
No
I mean, well, okay, that's a card that's better in aggressive decks.
Yes.
Because it allows you to apply pressure. But when you have double wrath, you don't think that card forces your opponent to overcommit?
Well, it does. I just think that's like.
He's probably not going to play it anyway.
Yeah, it'll be in his board.
That's the kind of card you want a 16 creature deck.
he wheeled the backwater. Just in case.
I've still got a Whisper of the Wilds. Green.
Yeah,
really
you see green. You see that's a prevailing mentality from the high-end drafters. Is that green is the worst color, and I mean it is when you look at it on paper. I think it's still draftable. It's better as your secondary color, but people are clearly staying away from it here.
Yeah, in a big way.
And he's just going to keep taking flyers to make sure that those things stay out of the way. Also, dragons are a little awkward with the Crux because he does have 2 dragons himself, and he could try to go for the value Crux of killing all non-dragons and keeping his, but if there's a Destructor Dragon, that can mess him up. So.
Chris Fennell, waiting for the draft to be over so that he can call his mother and thank her for giving him life so that he had the opportunity to draft this deck.
That is correct.
Vengeance isn't the worst sideboard option. Kind of comes in when you're bringing in your Shambling Goblin, right?
Yeah, I'm curious. I really thought the Shambling Goblin would make it for the most of the duration of this draft, but now I think it might not. I like Fascination here. There you go. You find yourself in like the grindiest of grindy. You can just get them. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you want to draw a whole bunch of creatures? I have 2 rats!
Yeah. And there we go. Stone-faced Chris Fennell just drafts the stones. And he's going to start. So what's going to happen now is the players are going to be sent out to different tables that are kind of spread out across the way. Take a look at the table that he's on here.
That's a John Finkel sitting across
Yeah.
from him.